I've been watching you fall. I've been watching you fall. I've been watching you fall. Watching you fall. I like watching you fall. I like the way you fall in my way. I like watching you fall. Watching you fall. And no watching you. I only energy trigger fool. I only energy trigger fool. I only energy trigger fool. I've been dreaming fine past 2 days, looking for your hair on my face. Although I wish you till the end of all time, I'm learning what it is, what you holding inside. I've been dreaming fine past 2 days, learning why it is what you say. Although I miss you till the end of all time, I'm learning what it is, what you holding inside. I only energy trigger fool. I only energy trigger fool. I only energy trigger fool. I only energy, yes. I only energy trigger fool. I only energy trigger fool. I only energy. I only energy trigger. I've been dreaming fine past 2 days, learning how your hair on my face. Although I miss you till the end of all time, I'm learning what it is, what you holding inside. I've been dreaming fine past 2 days now, learning why it is what you say. Although I miss you till the end of all time, I'm learning what it is, what you holding inside. Something I can do for this time. A cold heart of mine. What I see there, something about the cold heart of mine. I've been dreaming fine past 2 days, looking for your hair on my face. Although I miss you till the end of all time, I'm learning what it is, what you holding inside.
Oh my God, I love that song.
Nice, thank you.
And it's wonderful to hear. I think you're, I guess, a relatively long time collaborator with Azamaan. And
With Azu, yeah.
yeah, and he's so good and he sounds great on this track. And it is one of my favorites from your album, Furaha.
Furaha, yeah.
What is Furaha?
So it's just a nice looking word first, but it means happy or happiness in Swahili.
Oh,
Yeah, nothing
nice
deep.
looking word.
Yeah, it just looks nice. It sounds nice.
Maybe. I've never heard it before, so it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
So I would also like to say that it's wonderful to have Malu brethren here in the house. And no, Nathan Thomas and May Mariam Thomas were not related. So I have been asked that question by so many people from the scene. And one of the things is that, like, I also feel like you and I, should I say it's a cliche, but like that sort of Mallus in the Middle East, you were born in Bahrain.
Yes, that is right.
But you weren't there for very long.
No, I got back when I was 4. Got back to India.
So you didn't really live the Middle East
No,
life.
I don't remember anything from there.
I'm sure. I was born in Kerala. That
Right.
is how I roll. So for you, one of the things that I found out was that your dad was a musician too.
Yeah.
Wow. What did he do? Did he sing? Did he have a band?
He sings and he plays guitar. And he used to sing and play guitar in church.
Of course.
Yeah.
Where all of our education around music used to happen.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, so is that kind of, so what was the kind of music you were listening to at home then?
At home, there was a lot of like 60s, 70s music. So like Beatles, CCR, like
So like 60s,
the
70s
the
vibes.
usual, 60s,
Yeah.
70s, Eagles.
Yeah. So
yeah.
was this like something? So, and this is, I'm always curious about this because you're saying your dad sang and played guitar. You picked up the bass.
Yeah.
So how did that happen? You were quite young, you were 14?
I was 14. Yeah, I was 14 when I started playing bass. Yeah. So
Knows.
so I started playing the guitar first. Like it was just an acoustic guitar lying in at home, and I just started learning some chords and this and that. And then at some point, I discovered the Chili Peppers, and like Flea blew my mind, like really. So I would like just play bass on my dad's acoustic guitar.
Oh.
Like, yeah. And this one day, like I was just playing to like a track in my room, and my dad walks in and he's like, "Are you playing bass?" Because he used to play like a few bass gigs at church, but like not like proper bass. So he was like, "What are you doing? Are you playing bass?" And I was like, "Yeah, like there's this band, like I'm really into them." He's like, play, show me. So I play for him, and he's like, "Dude, I'm gonna get you a bass. Like you should play bass."
Oh
So
my
like
God,
I think
that's
the
so
next
sweet.
week we went and we bought a bass.
Oh my God, your dad sounds super cool.
Yeah,
Shout out to your dad. What's his
Yeah.
name?
His name is Joy. Yeah.
Wow.
Joy Thomas.
Finished. But I couldn't get even more Malayali
More
than
Malu than
Joy
that.
Thomas.
Correct.
So that's amazing. So your dad bought you your first bass. How cool
Yeah.
that he heard you kind of playing it.
Yeah, he just
as
like
well.
happened to walk into my room.
Oh my God, that's amazing. So I'm super curious. Where was that moment? Because was music always something that you knew you were going to get into? Was that something that just like naturally came to you?
Yeah, I would say that. Like it was not like I had to take lessons or like I just learned everything myself off of YouTube. And I didn't really think of it at that time like, oh, this is what I want to do, but it just everything kind of just like fell into place and like
Yeah.
everything just happened.
When did you
naturally.
start playing with bands then?
Like when I was 15, 16, I started playing with like,
Damn.
yeah.
Like fully in school. Did you have like
Yeah.
a school band or was there
I
like...
did, but I was playing drums in my school band.
What?
Yeah, so
Well,
I still
wait,
played-
what was your school band called?
Oh my God.
The name's always so good.
No, I actually have no recollection what it's called.
But you played drums.
Yeah, but it was just like one gig, like for annual day or something. Yeah,
The word annual day, I haven't heard that word in like a couple of decades.
yeah.
I do know, and I don't know if this was the first time, but you, I think like played bass, like did you play bass for the Mavens like for a gig or something? And then I don't know like which was the first time you were playing it like in a band or
No,
in
I
a,
didn't play
like,
bass with the Mavens, but I did play one gig with the drummer from the Mavens and Clayton.
Oh.
So my first few gigs in life was with Clayton, and then we were doing these bar nights at Blue Frog. So
Yeah.
every Tuesday for like 8 or 9 months, we would play at Blue Frog with Sid Kuto.
Yeah.
Pradeep was playing guitar.
Nice.
And Clayton and I.
So then how did you end up sort of getting into the space where, people are like, oh, come and play bass. Oh, you're really good. You come play bass with me
Yeah,
also.
yeah. So like friends and people of like Kuto and Clayton and all that would come to gigs, and like there's one gig, Zoran, the guitar player for Nikhil,
Yeah.
he came to the gig and he was like, oh, like, we should link you up, like you should come play bass, and like if someone's not free, like, you should sub. I was like, yeah, sure thing. And then I got the Nikhil gig, and then with Nikhil I was playing a few gigs, and I think Warren was doing sound on one gig, Black Star Blues, and he was like, oh, I have this one gig, like, do you want to play? I'm like,
Hello.
yeah. So then
I'll be playing on my knees.
yeah, so then everything just kind of like fell into place. Things just started happening.
That's
naturally.
kind of awesome. But that also is super telling, I think, of your own talent. And I think that if people are watching you and going, this guy's really good. I mean, do you feel like I'm amazing? No wonder they're picking me. Or are you quite shy and you're just kind of like, thank you?
Yeah, I would say like I was more on the shy side than on the shit. which and also like everyone around me, like I was lucky to be like around like Rohan, Spaz, Clayton, Lakhan, all of these guys. They would just like hold me down, be like, you know, you're cool and all, but like you're good, talented, but like don't let this shit get to your head ever.
Wow.
And they would just keep like, so I was lucky to just be surrounded by like nice people who
I guess I'm assuming they're all quite older than you?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah, they're all much older.
So they've finished. They were just, I cannot even possibly imagine what the kind of, you're putting it very nicely, huh? So what they're doing and saying to you, huh? So you clearly have played with a bunch. You were talking about Nikhil and Warren. You played for Taj as well. And you played for Sand Dunes. I saw something.
Yeah, I've played a couple of gigs with Sand.
Man, and I've seen you live as well. And I think you are so good. And you really are that talented. And like, if it gets to your head, man. It's okay. And also, so this is the thing that I also find really amazing about bass players, right? And whether people realize this or not, the combo deal of like drums and bass, right? Your rhythm section.
Right.
And I feel like you get great pairings, right? Like there's certain bassists and drummers when they're together, it just kind of works.
Yeah.
So do you have that with like Deed? I think is he your guy?
I think you could say that, yeah.
He's like, he is my person.
Yeah. There's sometimes when like, even non-musically, like, okay, if you're on stage and like, there's like certain like non-spoken moments where we just pull out and come back in on the same, like at the same time, like sometimes like even non-musically, like we're thinking of the same things and we're talking and like, he's like, for example, I'd be saying something, he'd be like, shit, I was just going to tell you the same thing, like, you know, things like that. So it is like with the, like I do have that, proper connection.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. And you guys also have this drum ani bass.
Yeah.
Is that still around?
It is, yeah. We're a little bit on like a, not, I wouldn't say hiatus, but we're just like, we haven't been able to make... kind
of on the down low.
Yeah, kind of on the down low, yeah. But we're still pretty much around.
So what is it that... and again, I think I'm curious about this because I kind of like to understand relationships and how these connections are. So, like, you know, with someone like Deed, you already have like this like sort of connection. But like, what are the things that you feel like work when like drum and bass like come together and it fits? What are the things that are like kind of, I guess, not formulaic, like, but I think when I'm watching it, I can see when it works. But then I don't know what's happening between you guys generally. So what are the things that you feel like if A, B, C, D happens, then it's great?
I would just say like locking in with the drummer, like the groove, the pocket, like when to play, when to not play, when to leave space for each other. Like just that kind. It's like a conversation, like, you know, it's not just a monologue. So it's like two people trying to say that, like, not the same thing, but like trying to say things which have like a same message together in words. I'm trying to like put this. So yeah, when that is there and when it's not tough to like express, I would say like that's probably a good connection.
That's kind of cool. I think you articulated that pretty well. I also think that, and I think like there are moments where, have you ever had like, you know, a moment where like you were in that sort of pocket and some, you know, where you went, oh my God, because it also is very cathartic, I think, totally, like as though it was like a bit of a release. Do you remember like really vividly, like a moment in a song with a drummer where you're like, I'm so happy right now?
Man, it's tough to pick out a moment, but there has been a few for sure.
Mainly with Deed, I'm assuming, or is it someone else?
With Deed, even with Jay, like, so Jay plays drums with Amit and we play together, and like there's so many like moments where we just look back and we're like, yeah, that was nice. And even with Deed, like so many times, like both of us will just stop playing at the same time, come back in at the same time, and then we just look at each other like, what? How did that happen? Like, but yeah, if I can't pick out like one
there's
particular
so many.
moment, there's a bunch. Again,
talking about bassists, I can't remember which video this was, but I think P-Man had made this video where he was kind of chatting with other bassists.
Yeah.
And I think someone in that sort of video was talking about the fact that like his parents came for like a gig and they were like, we don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're playing something we can't see. You really playing? Do you ever have that moment where people
Yeah.
just don't understand what you're doing?
Yeah, so much.
How do you explain to people what bass is? I don't know how to do it.
Okay, so right now, like with the kind of music we have going on, like in our time, it's easier to explain because you can just be like, oh, you know that hip hop vibe where you hear an 808 and you're like, boom,
Yeah.
and they're like, oh yeah, like, and we're like, that's basically what a bass does. So
You're
it's just
really lucky. This is the right time.
it is. But yeah, I've been like asked so many times, like, oh, what do you do? Like, why does your guitar look different? Like, why does it have less strings? And
Yeah.
like what is a bass? And it's just like,
Do you feel like you are like teaching what is bass?
no, not really. I mean, if they don't know, it's like my job to tell them what it is. Like,
Yeah.
so it's fine. It's okay.
I think that's sweet. I like that. So, what's the second song going to play for me today?
The second one is the title track from the album. It's called Furaha.
So, where did you even find this word?
I think I just Googled like happy or happiness in different languages.
Yeah,
And this one stood out.
I like it. Okay, so the next track is Furaha. So, you know what? You just played the title track, Furaha. And I have to tell you, this album was so nice to listen to. You know, I kind of listened to albums in like one go and it just sounded so good. And my favorite tracks to them, one was Triggerful, which you played earlier, and Cold Muse.
Nice.
Which I don't know if there was something about this song where I felt like I heard you.
Yeah.
And the bass line is amazing. And I feel like you come through so much more in that track. And I know the whole album is you, obviously. But like, I don't know. I don't know how it was for you. Like, which were your sort of songs that you feel like, oh, I love this one? I know it's like Picking a Baby.
Yeah,
Really.
there's a few. Like I really like, if I had to pick out like maybe 3 or 4, like I really like Furaha.
Yeah.
I really like Sunrise Sunfall with Jitwan.
Oh, yeah.
That's a nice one. Trigger Fool,
Yeah.
Feel It. They're all nice songs.
They all are nice.
It is, like-
And Jitwam is amazing, by the way.
Yeah, he
like his
smashed
music,
it on that
he's
one.
so
Yeah.
good. And I loved, obviously I really liked Azamaan and Megan's song,
Yeah.
and I even like Untitled also.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
But yeah, Cold Muse and Triggerful were like my faves.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, so my thing is that this was your lockdown album,
Pretty
right?
much, yeah.
So was it just a chance for you to actually like work on something, or had you been working on something for a while?
No, actually, right before lockdown, it was very busy, like with the session gigs and traveling and all of that. So I didn't really get time to like sit like and get into that zone for like an extended period of time. So like when lockdown hit, I just started making music at home because I was like, okay, I need to make use of this time. Like the first 2 weeks, I was just like playing PlayStation, watching like binge watching like TV, and like I think that's what everyone did.
Yeah.
But then at some point, I was like, okay, cool, I have so much time. Like, let me just make some music. And yeah, so I was pretty grateful that I had that much downtime to like just work on some music.
So I think there's a I don't know which article it was, but there was a piece that like really beautifully described, and I think all of us were, you know, I think the lockdown was hard on everyone to some
course.
extent, but I think there's somewhere where you said what inspired the album was the idea of being in a club and missing that feeling
Yeah.
of being on the dance floor.
Yeah,
And I'm like, oh my God, I think everyone missed that.
yeah.
Right?
I really missed that.
Yeah. Definitely miss being a gig. So you were
Yeah.
like, I will make the gig in my album.
Correct. Exactly. I was just there. I'm just sitting at home to party for one.
Yeah. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. So then, so what was it about, you know, I have to, and this is interesting for me because you are mainly playing with other people, right? Most of the time,
Yeah.
your sessions or you're with a band or whatever. So I'm kind of curious, like, where is this, is that something that obviously performing live and playing bass is one thing, but when you're making your own music, it's a whole other ballgame.
Yeah.
What is it that you prefer or like or don't like about each?
See, it's a thing about balance, right? So you gotta do like some things to be able to do other things, and so like the session gigs and like with my own project or like DJ gigs or whatever, I cannot expect to like play 5, 6, 7, 8 gigs a month.
Yeah.
Just that, like, you know, I'm gonna get burnt out as well. So that is like my creative outlet and like my release.
Yeah.
Basically, and these other things that I do, it helps me fund this. It helps me like just keep in touch with my instrument, also like play with other bands, and it's not a thing about like or dislike. I would say it's just like it's just different, and like
Fair enough.
yeah, it's just a switch in your head.
Yeah.
You switch on and off.
And you're still doing the things that you love
Yeah.
regardless.
Yeah.
Even if some things you do for the monies, because
Yeah.
we all got to do those things for
Exactly.
the monies.
Yeah.
Was it ever like, I think it's so cool that your dad bought you your first bass, but did it ever happen that you were like, maybe I need to study accounts? Like, I don't know, did you ever have a moment where you were like,
No, actually, never.
never, you're like,
Never.
desk job, absolutely not?
No chance. I cannot imagine myself like wearing a shirt and trouser every
I
day.
can't either.
Yeah, like sitting at a desk, and I cannot. No chance.
You've never experienced that either,
No,
though?
I've never had
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
fair enough. I have, and I can definitely tell you, it's not something I enjoyed particularly.
Yeah.
So, on the album, there is this, and I feel it made me feel slightly nostalgic. And then I heard it, and it was so funny and odd. There is the "Let's Go to Ibar" interlude,
Yeah.
where it's just you feel like you're. Like I felt like I was a fly on the wall in your house.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, Neil called and he's still in Andheri. And then like, you want to go to Ibar? You want to go to Ibar?
Yeah.
I don't think Lakshman is there yet. Should we call him? Bro, let's bounce, dude. We're like, but I just ordered food. And we're like, what do you get? Rolls, butter chicken. You want butter? I'll wait. Oh, I really want to eat. I was like, what is this entire
Yeah. So, I like the ideas of an interlude, especially in like a full length album. It just gives you like a breather and like even like a segue into like another song or something. So I was just going through my voice notes on my phone, and I found this voice note.
It was an actual voice note?
Yeah.
Like the recorder came on? Or
No,
was-
so we were all hanging at Andrea's house, and it was Andy, Elaine, Dheer, Karan, and me. And Karan started, and Karan's keyboard was out, and he started just playing these mad changes. And I was like, shit, I'm gonna record this and sample it later, and then make something out of this. And then just the conversation just happened.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I
because
didn't-
no one realizes that you're recording
exactly.
like a...
So I just slyly recorded it.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sample it, like make a beat or whatever, but now it's on my album as an
Yeah, but
interlude.
it sounds so... Like it actually... It's kind of nice because like when I was listening to the album, I'm like, what is happening? And then I
Yeah.
went and I saw the name of it and it felt...
Yeah.
I mean, Ibar was an institution. It's like
Totally.
Blue Frog. It's like all these like amazing places that become like a huge part of our own sort of gig
Yeah.
zeitgeist or whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. And it's so sad that they're like
Yeah.
not there anymore.
Yeah. Shouts to Iba.
Shouts to Ibar. So I think so this is also interesting because everywhere I've sort of seen your name crop up, like Nate08, it keeps talking about you being part of an underground kind of scene. And I'm like, are you really that underground?
Yeah, I don't know why they do that. Yeah. I guess underground means not commercial and mainstream. I guess.
Yeah, but you
if
play with
want
Amit Trivedi. That's like,
to. Yeah, but not as Nate08. I play with Amit
okay.
Trivedi as Nathan.
As Nathan.
Nathan
Like,
Thomas, the
yo.
bass player. Yeah.
so if we had to do a who is Nate08, who is Nathan Thomas, like what is the
Oh my
you're like
God.
the psychology of this? Now you're like, I'm going to die. Crawl under the carpet.
No. But yeah, I mean, it's just me at the end of the day. It's the same human, but it's like just a different like version of that human at that point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so as Nate08, it's like, okay, this is my music. This is my expression of me, this, that, da, 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 da. As Amit, I'm like, okay, I'm a servant to the music. I'm only playing bass. I'm doing my job. I'm not going to like impose myself as like Nate08 on the Amit gig. So like, this is two separate like identities.
You're such a like good boy. You're so sweet. I like it. So I think the thing that was interesting, I think there was like something that you had said somewhere where you talked about music being super subjective.
Yeah.
But we live in a world now where there is room to take risks and that you can experiment because there will be an audience for what.
sure.
Do you really believe that?
Yeah, for sure. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, there's so many people that like certain kind of music and don't like a certain kind of music, and there's always someone that'll resonate with like even with the album, like everyone has told me, oh, this one's my favorite song, oh, that one's my favorite, oh, this one I like this one more than like, you know. So there's something out there for everyone. And yeah, like as long as you're being like honest and like you're just being yourself, like someone's gonna like and yeah, there's always room for
you
for
to be
someone.
able to want to do whatever it is that you kind of want, that kind of thing.
Yeah,
Fair
exactly.
enough. So, do you have any plans for 2023? Are you working on some new music?
There are a couple of singles that I'm working on, and one of them is with Azu. In fact, it's a really nice one.
Yeah.
I'll play it to you later.
Yes,
And the band. I want to take the band on the road, do a few live gigs.
Oh my God, Nate08 on tour. That's going to be so exciting. You know what? I remember when you had sent me the gig poster for your album launch, and I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, he's putting out music, because I already knew that you were an incredibly talented bass player. And then I'm like, oh my God, his own music. And then you were like, hey, I'd love to be on the show. And I'm like, you gotta play this live, my friend. And then you're like, I'll be right back.
Yeah.
And then now this episode happened.
Yeah.
And so did you always know how you were going to take it live, or what, did I like to put you on the spot a little bit?
No, I knew I had all of these boys in mind, like since the start. Yeah.
Oh, okay, awesome. So, because I was just like, I remember that moment. I still have that message where you're like, okay, I'll get back to you. And I'm like, cool, take your time, because I'm always in this space where I'm not going anywhere. But like the whole thing that I love about Maed in India is that you get to perform it live, and you know, people get to kind of see it and listen to it. And it's fun.
And I'm happy it happened now, because I didn't have any like a live set or like a band or anything ready at that time.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Wow. So what's the last song you're gonna play for us today?
This last one's called Cold Muse, and it's for you.
My fave.
I was gonna do another one, but then you were like, "This is my favorite song."
No, that's my favorite. So, by the way, why did you call it Cold Muse?
Oh, just a random word.
Simply, this is like Furaha.
I'm terrible at naming my tracks, so
yeah, that's why you actually have an Untitled in the track list. You're like, this one I'm struggling.
This one I really can't. Yeah, Untitled.
Oh my God, your next album will be Untitled, and then what'll happen? Okay, awesome. Last track is my favorite, Cold Muse.
Hey guys, please like, share and subscribe to us on YouTube. And of course, do not forget to follow us on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and other things at Maed in India. That's MAED. It's literally right here. So